Hey folks, I am super excited about today's episode. What I've got here is the ESEE Advanced Survival Kit. I've been wanting to pick one of these up for a long time, and I finally did. And so we're going to check it out right now on Kitbashed Survival. Alright, so as you probably already know, the ESEE Advanced Survival Kit is very expensive. The MSRP on the ESEE website is just over $700. And by the way, don't ever pay full retail price for this kit. It's not worth over $700. I got this on Amazon and I paid just over $500 for it, which was the lowest price I could find at the time. And I bought this in August of 2020. So you may want to buy this kit, you may not want to buy this kit, but everybody wants to know, is it worth the money? And that's what we're going to try to find out today. But, you know, I already know what's in this kit because I had to open it up to prep for the video. And so before we get started, I'll say this about the price. Most off-the-shelf survival kits on the market usually try to strike a balance between affordability and quality. The affordability of the kit versus the quality of the kit and the components inside. And so oftentimes what you get is a survival kit where the components inside the kit are not super cheap and they're not super fancy. They're right there in the middle. They're decent quality components, and in exchange it makes the kit more affordable. Well, the ESEE Advanced Survival Kit does not try to strike that balance. Everything in this kit is high quality. A lot of stuff is made in the USA or made in Europe or other places where it costs a little more to manufacture the stuff. There's a lot of name brands that you know and trust, and so what you get is a kit that favors quality over affordability, and of course that makes the kit more expensive. So anyway, what we're going to do is open up the kit and see what's inside. Then we're going to sort of add everything up and see if the $500 price tag is justified. And then finally, we're going to modify this kit by adding some components to it, and that'll take it from being a great kit to being an exceptional kit. So let's start things off by taking a look at one of the most high quality items in this kit, and that of course is the bag itself. So rather than using some cheap knockoff bag that's pretending to be something it's not, this is the real deal. Extremely high quality, made in the USA, built to last. There's no reason this bag should not last a lifetime or more if properly cared for. The bag features durable, thick nylon Cordura construction, which probably gives it a little bit of water resistance as well. The zippers, you know, oftentimes we don't even think about zippers until something goes wrong. But on a survival bag, you really want to have high quality zippers because the last thing you need in a survival situation is for your zippers to be binding up and breaking on you. And because this bag uses genuine heavy duty YKK zippers and not some cheap knockoffs, that's a lot less likely to happen. There are fabric loops for connecting gear on both sides and at the top right here. Then up here, there's a thick fabric handle. And then we've got the back of the bag, which is actually my favorite part for a few reasons. First, we've got this tag that says ESEE Gear, made in the USA. Then we've got all of this nice MOLLE webbing. We've got some really heavy-duty stitching going on. And then we've got 6 of these heavy-duty plastic loops. And out of the box, you'll have this strap attached to these 2 loops. But as you'll see in a minute, on the inside of the pack, there are 2 additional straps for use on the outside of the pack. And basically what it amounts to is that however you want to carry this pack, whether it's over one shoulder or like a sling or like a backpack or what have you, you're going to be able to do it. And finally, behind this, there's a thick plastic sheet, and that gives this whole area some rigidity and some strength, and that way when you're carrying it around, it's nice and sturdy. It's kind of like a miniature internal frame pack. So now let's delve a little deeper into this bag. This front section here can be detached. It's held on with a bunch of Velcro. So we'll set the pack aside for a moment and focus on this piece. So the primary purpose of this pouch is map storage. And of course, the reason it detaches from the main pack is so that you can be reading your map and carrying the bag at the same time. So to access the main map pouch, we open it up like this, made in USA, and there's the map pouch. So you put the map in up here, it's got a plastic flap to go over it, and you get some nice weather protection. Pretty cool. And then up here, they've got 2 auxiliary pouches. They've got one up front that has the see-through window on it. Right now, they've got a survival tips card in there. And then there's another pouch right behind that one where you could hide some cash or pens and pencils or something like that. And then they've got this loop here. I'm not sure what exactly this is for, but I would probably put a pen or a pencil in there. And then finally, we've got this security ring up here. The purpose of the security clip, or at least one purpose, would be to prevent the loss of the mat pouch should it be accidentally detached from the Velcro on the pack. So for example, let's say you had your mat pouch here and you were making your way through some thick brush and a big branch comes by, and just like that, it rips it off the pack and you've lost your map. That's a bad day. Well, if you have the pouch clipped to something, that's less likely to happen. So I suppose you could clip this to one of these zippers, but here's what I would do if this was my pack, and it just happens to be my pack. I've got a molly clip here, so I'm gonna install it right here on this webbing. Okay, so I've got this clip installed, and now I'll take 1/2 of this security clip and connect it to this ring. It's a D-ring, a molly D-ring. And now I'll reconnect it like that. And there we go. So now, if I'm going through that same brush and that same big branch comes by, it rips it off the Velcro, but not off the pack. Pretty cool. So now let's check out the first and smallest of the 2 zippered compartments in this pack. And the first one is located right behind the mat pouch. So we'll go ahead and undo that security clip that I just put on and open up this first pouch. There's only one item in here, and it's really the only serious first aid item in this entire kit. You can probably guess what it is. It's a combat dressing. I always call this an Israeli bandage. If you want to find out more, just Google Israeli bandage and you can read all about it. But, you know, if you're only going to have one first aid item in your kit and you've got the room, this is a really good thing to have because, you know, it's not the small cuts and scrapes that are going to get you. It's the serious wounds like a gunshot wound or a laceration or something like that. And if you've got an Israeli bandage on hand, it'll go a long way towards stabilizing you until you can get proper medical attention. So it's an H&H combat dressing. It's vacuum sealed, made in the USA. Very high quality. And you know, you might think something like this would cost 50 cents, but no, these are fairly expensive. They're about $8. All right, now we come to the main event, which of course is the main zippered compartment. So let's go ahead and open it up. And there we go. Man, that's sexy. So let's rotate this around and we'll start with these top pouches. There's 2 pouches up here. We got a small webbed pouch up front, and there's only one thing in there, and that is a pack of 3 AAA batteries. And the purpose of these will be clear in just a moment. Then we've got some stuff back here. So we've got an Endure emergency survival blanket, a space blanket, 48 inches by 84 inches. Then we've got a second space blanket. Pretty cool. And again, it's not a no-name brand. It's Endure, which is a known brand. They make pretty good stuff. Then we've got some fire starting gel. And you've seen these before. So this is a fire starting gel. They got directions. You open it up, you squirt it out, and you light it. Pretty cool. And there's 2 of those. And then lastly, we've got a stash of Whirlpack water bags. So let's see how many bags there are. So there's 4 Whirlpack stand-up water bags, and each bag holds a quart of water. Okay, now let's check out this side, starting with this awesome survival knife. Now, one thing I like is that they've got the sheath connected to the bag itself via one of those security clips, and that lessens the chance of you losing the knife on accident. So let me go ahead and detach the security clip, and here we go. So what we've got here is an ESEE 4P with orange micarta scales. It's a full flat grind, 1095 steel, lifetime warranty. This is an excellent knife and a great choice for this kit because this is sort of a mid-sized knife from ESEE. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's not too thick, it's not too thin, it's just right. Nice 4.5-inch blade. Just a fantastic knife overall. And it's got this high quality sheath. Locks in there nice and sturdy. And you've got a metal belt clip on the back. Very cool. And then over here, we've got those 2 extra carrying straps that I told you about earlier. And with these, you're pretty much going to be able to carry this bag in whatever configuration you want. Up next, we've got a headlamp, and just like a lot of other stuff in this kit, this is not a no-name knockoff. This is a name brand. It's a Petzl. Petzl is known for making high-quality headlamps. This model is the Takina. Now, to be sure, the Takina is not the top of the line for Petzl. It's an entry-level headlamp, runs about 20 bucks, but it's still a Petzl and it's still going to be a good, reliable product. As you might have guessed, the headlamp is powered by these 3 AAA batteries. So, go ahead and load these up into the headlamp and we'll give it a try. And it's a very basic headlamp. It's got 3 brightness levels. Pretty good light, not bad at all. Then we've got this big orange thing. This is a 60-inch by 60-inch tarp, and it can be used as a tarp, as a signaling panel, as a bag, and in the video where ESEE demonstrates this kit, the guy even uses it as a ground cloth to sleep on, which is pretty cool. So 60 inches by 60 inches. It's got little buttons on it and loops at the corners and so forth. It's made out of that ripstop nylon stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty darn good tarp for a survival kit. Oh, and by the way, nice ripstop nylon tarps like this are more expensive than you think, but we'll get to that later. Below that, we've got a 45-gallon yellow trash bag. I'm not going to open this up, but these have a bunch of uses. You can use it as a poncho, to make a primitive shelter, to collect water, all sorts of stuff. This is a really good thing to have. You can probably see this blue rope around the perimeter, so let's go ahead and get that out. This is climbing grade rope. So you could actually make an ascent or descent using this rope, which is pretty cool. It's 8mm rope. And from what I've read, this has around 4,200 pounds of tensile strength. So this is high quality climbing grade rope, 25 feet of it. And of course, if you're gonna have climbing rope, you should probably have a carabiner, and they thought of that. And here's a carabiner. And this is not a cheap 50-cent decorative carabiner. It is a climbing rated carabiner, 24 kilonewtons, which is not the strongest carabiner in the world, but it's perfectly fine for recreational climbing and stuff you might be doing in a survival situation. So yeah, with this kit, you can make an ascent or a descent with this climbing grade rope and a climbing carabiner. Now, of course, I am not an expert in climbing, so don't quote me on any of this. And if you're gonna use any of this climbing gear, you would probably want to take a course or 2 before you did that, because if you start climbing without knowing what you're doing, you could easily injure or kill yourself very quickly. But it's really cool that they've got some climbing gear in this kit. And of course, you don't have to use this for climbing. You could use it for anything else, but if you had to climb with it, you could. All right, we're getting toward the home stretch. So let's go ahead and open up this little compartment. And it's got a few things. First, they've got some informational material. There's some instructions for the compass, which we haven't seen yet. Instructions for the knife. And then they've got all these information cards, and anybody who's ever owned an ESEE survival kit of any kind should be pretty familiar with these. They put these in just about everything. Up next, we've got the ESEE Mini Survival Tin. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was going to be a complete ESEE Mini Survival Tin, and I've actually already reviewed one of these on my channel in a previous video. I'll put a link to it in this video. But when I opened it up, there was nothing in there except the instructions for the headlamp. And at first I thought that was kind of lame, but then after I thought about it, I thought, you know, that's probably a good thing, because most of the stuff, in fact, almost all the stuff that would be in the ESEE Mini Survival Tin is already in the Mess Kit Survival Tin that's right here. So having it in both places would be a bit redundant, and by having it empty, it allows you to customize it and put whatever you want in there, which in the end, I think is a better idea. And then at the bottom, we've got our last item, which is the Best Glide ASC Survival Fishing Kit Basic version. Now, I'm not going to open this up because I've already reviewed this exact same kit on my channel. So if you want to see what's inside, check out that video. There should be a link to it in the top right-hand corner of the video and in the video description. Finally, we come to the pièce de résistance, the ESEE Mess Tin Survival Kit, which is in this pouch down here. And there it is. But before we take a look inside, I want to take a better look at the interior of this bag. This is so well designed. You know, they've got pouches for the tins and so forth. They've got loops and webbing, and a lot of these loops are unused, and so that means you've got extra configuration options other than just how it comes right out of the box. And then they've got two pouches here. There's one with a see-through window, and then there's one behind it as well. Really cool. All right, so let's open up the Mess Tin Survival Kit. Now, I've actually already reviewed the standalone ESEE Mess Tin Survival Kit on this channel, and I'll put a link to that review in this video. But I wanted to check out this one as well because there are some differences between the two, and most of those differences involve gear that's included in the standalone kit that's not included in this version. But they had good reasons for that. So for example, in the standalone version of the Mess Tin Survival Kit, there's the Best Glide ASE Basic Fishing Kit, but of course we've already got that kit located elsewhere in this Advanced Survival Kit, and so there's no reason to also have it in the tin. Also, the standalone kit has some water bags inside, but as you saw, we have 4 water bags located elsewhere in the kit, so they don't need to be in here. And then finally, the standalone kit includes the ESEE Azula knife, but because we've got the ESEE 4P located elsewhere in the kit, the Azula doesn't have to be in here. But between you and me, I was kind of hoping they would have the Azula in here. That would have been really cool. Now, the fact that they've left some stuff out of this version of the kit compared to the standalone version is actually a good thing in my opinion, because it avoids pointless duplication of gear, while at the same time freeing up space for us to add custom gear of our own, and that's what we'll be doing in just a few minutes. Anyway, so we've got a Right in the Rain waterproof notepad. This is actually larger than the one that's in the standalone kit. Pretty nice. Then we've got a signal mirror, an Endure signal mirror, another name brand. We've got a whole mess of brass wire. So you could use this for a snare or for gear repair or pretty much anything else you can think of. It's a really generous amount of brass wire. We've got a blue Ranger band, like the one that was on the outside of the kit. We've got a wire saw. Seems to be pretty good quality. We've got 10 pieces of cotton tinder. Not bad. And we've got a sewing kit. We've got some fabric and a couple sewing needles. Let's see. There's anything else inside here. Yeah, so we've got a piece of fabric for doing patchwork. We've got 2 sewing needles, and there's some sewing thread-like material later on in the kit. We've got a whistle, an Acme whistle. Ooh, that is shrill. Made in England. Then we've got some Kevlar survival cord, 75 feet, 80-pound test, made in the USA. And you could probably use this to sew with those needles and that patch. Then we've got a ferro rod and striker made by Endure. I like these Endure ferro rods, they're really thick. They're very well made. And we got a striker too. And then we've got a section of orange signal tape if you need to get somebody's attention. We've got a pretty nice compass. This is a Suunto, I believe it's an A10 compass. Let's find out. Yeah, it's a Suunto A10 made in Finland. Pretty cool. Then we've got a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. This is the Hiker. It's a nice thing to have. It's got a screwdriver, a punch, a large blade, a small blade. Then you got the bottle opener and the flathead screwdriver and the wire stripper. There's the can opener and the flathead screwdriver. And then in the middle, there's a saw. And the Victorinox saws are actually very good. I like them a lot. And then we've got the toothpick over here and a pair of tweezers over here. Not bad. We've got a pencil to go with that Right in the Rain waterproof pad. We've got a length of cordage. Looks like thin paracord. It's pretty cool. Open that up. There it is. It's pretty good quality paracord. We've got a few feet of duct tape. Always a good thing to have. We've got another one of those signal cards where they've got the ground-to-air distress signals and conversions and so forth. And then we've got a Fresnel lens, a little magnification lens, helps to start a fire or to magnify something. Then we've got two of these lights, these bright strike lights. So they're green lights and they have a peel off sticky back so you can stick them on something. And when you turn them on, flash is green, then there's a slower flash, and then there's a steady green. And they give you two of these. Pretty cool. And the green light is good to have at night because it allows you to see things without destroying your night vision. Then we've got some water purification tablets to go with those water bags we saw earlier. Potable Aqua. And I believe this is 50 tablets if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 50 tablets. And then finally, we've got some indoor safety matches, wind and waterproof. And then we've got the tin itself, which of course can be used to boil water or drink out of or cook food and what have you. All right, so here's all the stuff from the ESEE Advanced Survival Kit. And as I said earlier, the big question is whether or not the price is justified. Now, as I said earlier, I don't think the MSRP of $730 is justified, although we'll find out. But I paid $515 for this kit on Amazon, so I want to know if that price was a good deal. So what I'm going to do is add up the price of each of these individual items, and we'll see what it comes to. And for each item, I'm going to use the consumer level price, because I'm sure if you went out and bought 1,000 of these Israeli bandages, for example, you could get the unit price down to 50 cents or something. But for the average consumer who just buys one of these, you're going to pay $8. So we'll start with the Mess Tin Survival Kit. Now, as I already said, I've already reviewed the standalone version of this kit in a previous video. And in that video, I did the exact same thing. I totaled up the price of the individual items in the kit to see if it was worth the price that I paid. And in that video, I determined that if you were going to build the kit on your own, it would cost $218. But of course, this version of the Mess Tin Survival Kit is missing a few of those items: the fishing kit, the water bag, and the Azula knife. The fishing kit's right here, so we'll go ahead and add it in. Then we'll subtract the Azula knife and the water bag, and we get a price of $161.50, which I'll round down to 160 bucks. Next, we've got the bag, and the bag actually consists of two components. There's the bag itself and then the map case. So the price of the bag on its own is $130, and the price of the map case is $35. Then we've got the ESEE 4P survival knife. The price on Amazon for this is right at $100. Up next is the orange tarp, and this is not some cheap blue tarp that you buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. These kinds of tarps are actually more expensive than you think. If you want to buy this orange tarp on its own, it'll cost you $52. Then we've got the Petzl Takina headlamp, which runs about $20. The 25-foot length of climbing rope is about $20. The ESEE carabiner is $13. And then the two Endure survival blankets are $4 a piece for a total of $8. The Israeli bandage, as I said before, runs about $8. The water bags are $1.50 a piece. There's 4 of them, so that's $6. And then the fuel gel packets, there's 2 of them. They're $3 a piece, so that's $6. The survival cards here are actually included in the standalone Mess Tin Survival Kit, so I'll give you a 0 for those. And then just to throw a bone to the naysayers out there, I'll even give you a 0 for the empty mini survival tin and a 0 for the yellow trash bag. So if we add all that up, the grand total comes to, surprise, surprise, $558. Now, of course, prices can and will change over time, but as of the time I'm filming this video, September 2020, is this kit worth the MSRP of almost $730? No. Is it worth the actual price I paid on Amazon of $515? Yes. Now, with that being said, is it possible to build a kit similar to this on your own for less than $515? Absolutely. But in order to do so, you would most likely have to compromise on the quality of some of the components. And as I said before, this kit does not compromise. It's about quality, not affordability. And if you want to have quality components in your survival kit, you're going to have to pay a premium for that. So although in my opinion this kit is excellent right out of the box, because there is a little bit of extra room in the kit, I'd like to try to add some extra gear just to make it that much better. Now, I don't know how much gear we'll be able to add because there's not that much extra space, but we'll see what we can get away with. So the first thing I'd like to do is beef up the first aid side of the kit, because aside from the Israeli bandage and possibly the needle and thread, there really isn't much in the way of first aid in this kit. So what I'm going to do is use the empty ESEE Mini Survival Kit tin as my primary first aid kit. So into this little tin, I'd like to put 4 Band-Aids, then a large Band-Aid, some aspirin, a mini med bag that I made that has 4 Benadryls and 4 ibuprofens, 2 Imodiums, just in case you get diarrhea, a small gauze pad, 2 things of hand sanitizer, and the nice thing about this is that this can double as a fuel source in an emergency, an antiseptic wipe, 2 packets of antibiotic ointment, 2 alcohol prep pads, and then 1 mini pack towel. And these are the kinds of towels where you add a little bit of water and they blow up into a full-size towel. And these ones, although they're minis, when you put water on them, they get to be like this towel right here. And then the final thing I'd like to try to get into this mini survival tin is a DermaSafe razor knife. And there it is. There's 2 additional first aid items that I'd like to add, but I know they won't fit in this mini survival tin. And those are a SWAT T tourniquet if there's room, and then a little roll of gauze that I will probably try to get into the survival tin. And by the way, this gauze can also double as some tinder in an emergency. And speaking of tinder, on the fire side of things, although this kit has pretty good fire making abilities right out of the box, there are 2 items I'd like to add. So I'm going to add a couple pieces of fat wood to help build a fire, and I'll also add a mini Bic lighter. On the water side of things, I'd like to add 2 Melita coffee filters to help filter out sediment before purification. And I'd also like to add one of these mini water straws. This is an Aquamira Frontier water straw that's capable of filtering up to 30 gallons of water. Then we come to the lighting department. So the first thing I'll add is a Trick birthday candle, although I guess this could probably be classified as a fire item as well. And then I'm also going to add a green glow stick. If there's room, I'd like to add a little bit of toilet paper and a little thing of tissues. I'd also like to add 2 of these full-size pack towels, as opposed to the little one that's in the first aid kit. In the cooking / water boiling / hot beverage department, I'd like to add an emergency stove. So I'm going to add this little S-bit emergency stove. Now we've already got these 2 fuel packets over here, and this comes with 3 additional fuel pellets, but if I get tight on space, I might eliminate these and keep these. I know we've got the yellow trash bag, which can be used as a poncho, but I'm going to try to add an actual poncho to this bag so that we can use the yellow trash bag for other stuff if needed. And on the subject of keeping things dry, I'd like to try to add this small 4-liter dry bag. We'll see if there's room for that. And then finally, I'd like to add this little food and beverage bag. So in here, I've got 2 packs of instant coffee, 1 pack of MRE beverage-based lemonade, 2 packs of creamer, 2 packs of sugar, 3 malted milk tablets, 3 Jolly Ranchers, a pack of MRE tissues, and then I've also got 2 little tooth floss devices just for cleaning junk out of my teeth if I need to. So I have no idea if all this gear is going to fit. I wouldn't be surprised if I had to leave 1 or 2 things out, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to start with the mini survival tin and packing that full of first aid gear. all in there except for the poncho and the extra fuel tabs for the Esbit stove. So I'd say we did pretty good. Now, of course, I could have hung some gear off the webbing on the outside of the pack. I also could have put a map in there, but I didn't do that for now. I'm going to leave it as it is, and maybe I'll come back to it later and make some changes. You know, as with all my survival kits, this is not etched in stone. It can and will evolve over time and get better. Anyway, this has been the ESEE Advanced Survival Kit. An excellent survival kit, made even better with the addition of some extra gear. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. For now, that's it. I'm Eric Siegel. This is Kitbashed Survival. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Alright, so let's go ahead and unbox this thing. I ordered this on Amazon, and it was shipped from Michigan Sports. Up in Michigan, obviously. And this kit runs just over $500. Oh yeah. I've wanted one of these for so long. Oh yeah. That's awesome.